All right, welcome in everybody to the Big Matt Podcast channel. I'd like to thank you guys and gals for stopping by and hanging out with me just for a few minutes. Man, we got a big story for you today. This is about pretty much the origins of AI and where all our computer technology kind of started, and it's way back in the 60s. Gosh, man, I mean, we can start with the making of the internet, how stuff worked, new technology, real life kind of Terminator robots of these molded type machines and skeletal designs for our military, learning computers, like the old movie War Games that most of you seen if you're 45, I guess, or older, come out in our time. Internet surveillance, and how they started out with an idea of just as a web crawler of web design, of when you look something up, it kind of puts you on the right path, and how that kind of turned into that. And in 1994, it's called a Highlands Forum. This is a forum that they put together, a group of people, and just how algorithms and all that kind of stuff began. Gosh, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. You don't want to miss any of this, okay? So hang on.
Here's the scene. You're driving. It's late and the road ahead is dark. You make a turn and then another. You finally realize you're lost. If this was a not too distant past, you'd pull over and grab your Thomas guide.
Yeah, for you kids, that's a map.
And if you didn't have a map, you'd try to find a gas station or 7-Eleven to ask for directions. Then your fate would be in the hands of the guy working the night shift.
Who may or may not be a serial killer.
Right. But now all the answers are in your pocket.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. How, I mean, when I drove a truck first time I took off to California, we didn't have cell phones. So you had to make your map out with a real paper map. Okay. Yes, I know I'm kind of old, but that's how it was. And to get somewhere, sometimes if you didn't know how to get there, you definitely had to be able to read a map. Okay. And now there's no thinking involved.
You tell your phone the address and GPS guides the way. Some cars will even drive for you while you sit back, relax, and listen to your favorite podcast.
Oh, you know, the Y-Files is also a podcast.
No plugs yet, please.
Little pig.
The technology I described that got you to your destination, it was created by DARPA, all of it. And there's a lot more of DARPA in your pocket than you think.
And that's the name to remember. Okay, they're the whole brain behind this whole stuff that we call from internet and all those topics that I just laid out there for you. So remember this, and they did add the D later on. So just remember that.
Your cell phone uses microprocessors designed by DARPA. They also created the batteries to power those microprocessors. Your phone uses wireless technology made possible by DARPA. The touch screen and the microphone came from DARPA. Voice recognition and GPS come from DARPA.
Wow. And when we get over in here to this may be a two-part show. I don't know if I can get all this on one because I don't want to make it real long. The people that come up with this are, if you don't already know, when they say the two guys that's kind of working behind a lot of, not this exactly, but you kind of just nod your head and go, oh, well, that makes sense.
And of course, all this data transfer happens using the internet, which was created by DARPA.
Excuse me, if I may.
Is this going to be a high...
Yield the rest of my time, thank you.
Yes, DARPA created the internet. Well, technically, they were still ARPA then. Remember, the D was added in 1972. In the 1960s, researchers were trying to figure out a way to ensure reliable communications in case of a nuclear attack. Traditional telephone lines and radio transmitters would be the first to go. They came up with a radical idea: packet switching.
Not all of us speak nerd. Some of us went to our prom instead of...
Packet switching is not as complicated as it sounds. Here's how it works. You want to send a message or file from New York to LA, but what if half the country's lines are down? So you break that message into small chunks called packets and send each one independently over the network. On the receiving end, the message waits for all the packets to arrive and then reassembles them back into the original message or file. Each packet will independently try to find the most efficient route through the network at any given moment. The internet still works this way. Most people didn't use the internet until the late 1990s or early 2000s. Some nerds like me were using our phones to dial bulletin board systems in the late 1970s and early 80s. But this new network called ARPANET was conceived in 1966.
Wait a minute. Did he just say 1966? Matt, are you telling me right here on the big story that in 1966 that the internet was originally invented? That's where it all come from. That's what we're telling you. Yes. It's a lot of news, and some people are probably just, you got to pick your jaw off the floor right now, okay? But yes, everything that they done, the only thing that I know a little bit about personally from a personal situation is family member at the time, engineering class stuff, a person that had came in and taught a class to them on an advisement part. They were taught, were in conversation about microwave guns. This was in, I was 10, 12 or 13, 1990. Okay. We'll just say roughly 1990. And this person was told that it's a good idea and they understand where they're coming from, but that's been around for a while. What? Microwave guns. Yeah. Yeah. They're already working on that and kind of ironing out the details for about the past 10 years and just waiting for a time to use it. So there's a lot of this stuff that we get the use of as civilians that has been around. They were told, which this person told me when I was a kid, he was in this class, usually 20 years. So whatever we see now that's all so cool and awesome, this DARPA group did it 20 years ago. We, us people, civilians, normal, out here in the working world, we are the practice or guinea pigs or whatever you want to call it. We're the ones that it gets tested on to see how it all kind of works, because there's a lot of stuff out there that, and some of this stuff here that we're going to go through, not all of it made it to the cutting board all the way to the finish, to the finale, but a lot of it has. And a lot of it you'll recognize, and some of it you'll be surprised by. So let's get back into it.
Under DARPA's guidance, TCP/IP became the universal language for online computers. They also developed the concept of email and invented domain names. DARPA worked with UC Berkeley to create the BSD Unix operating system. BSD Unix heavily influenced the operating system you're using right now, no matter what OS it is. It started with DARPA. Now, these technologies may seem modern, but DARPA sent the first internet message in 1969.
There you go. He's doing it again. He's talking about something in the 60s. Let me just back that up to make sure. So you don't have to stop the video as you're watching and say, what did he just say? So let's back that up and we'll hear it again together.
Modern, but DARPA sent the first internet message in 1969. Now, this shouldn't be surprising. DARPA technology is said to be about 20 years ahead of civilian tech. Like self-driving cars. DARPA built one in 1984.
1984. So this, Elon Musk thing and, these cars drive themselves and even electric car stuff, it's not new. It's just new to a lot of people, not everybody.
DARPA had GPS in 1973. Microprocessors, motion sensors, and wireless communication. DARPA had these decades ago, but eventually these innovations became available to the rest of us. DARPA's technology has made our lives so much better, it's easy to forget that those innovations weren't originally meant to improve lives. They were meant to end them.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Man, we keep dropping a lot of big stories on you right here. Hey, if you like this content, I'm nerding out here on this a little bit. And like I said, this channel is about hot topics and news going on. And we'll do some Bible study stuff here, there. But this, it's just really interesting to me. And if you're probably in my age group, 40 to 55 or 60, you probably like this stuff too. So if you do, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up and like the video. Let's see, hear that one more time. Okay. Hang on.
Nations weren't originally meant to improve lives. They were meant to end them.
They were meant to end lives. What is he saying? What is he saying? It's going to end lives. This stuff is technology and stuff. Wow, man. Okay. That's a lot to take in right now. And that's covered all the internet stuff. And I'm just waiting on this new tech and things that we're fixing to look at here. You're going to know about some of this stuff also, and some of it not. So let's keep hanging around. Let's keep watching this together, and let's keep learning this together. This is pretty good stuff.
Building in some far corner of the world. You hug your 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifle. It's pitch dark, but your light gathering high magnification scope gives you full visibility of the alley 1,200 yards away. A door opens. It's your target. Right on schedule. You hold your breath and put your finger on the trigger. Suddenly, a van appears. Your target leaps in and speeds off. Years ago, he'd escaped. Mission failed. Not now. You fire, confident in DARPA's latest innovation, a self-guided bullet.
A self-guided bullet. Well, now we know there's self-guided missiles and that type of stuff, but now, of course, with cell phones and microchips, we've made things so small. So, they're making stuff smaller and smaller. Just keep watching.
With optical sensors and real-time guidance, it maneuvers mid-flight locked onto its target. Skilled snipers engage targets up to 1,300 yards away or more. The farthest confirmed kill, 2.2 miles by Canadian Special Forces in 2017. Impressive, but DARPA's Extreme Accuracy Tasked Ordnance, or Exacto bullet, hits targets 5 or 6 miles away.
5 or 6 miles? 5 miles? Dude, that is crazy. I mean, like the longest kill, was what's the guy from the Navy SEAL movie that we all watched and liked? What was his long shot? It was like 2 miles or something, or a mile and a half,
Maybe farther. DARPA keeps the details a secret. Many DARPA projects seem like science fiction, some like magic. Scepter lets you see through walls. The Mojave Project bends light, making objects invisible. DARPA's Engineering Living Materials program uses living fungus as a construction material.
Now, this is very interesting. Those other things I've heard of and seen some before, the mirroring, how you can mirror the surroundings around you to, like, you already put up like not a hologram, but, an image over somebody where it looks like they're stepping behind something, but it's really just kind of an eye trick. But this, like, you can like send a building. We're talking about building like structures, I guess like a small room, like, this in here, like a 10 by 20 with chemicals or something, or you can put it in a bucket and you mix it with something else and it just grows. Oh, I don't know. Now this is new to me.
Structures will no longer be built. They'll be grown.
Instead of shipping finished materials, we can ship precursors and rapidly grow them on site using local resources. And since the materials will be alive, they'll be able to respond to changes in their environment and heal themselves in response to damage.
Heal themselves in response to damage because, well, it's biological. So if it's living, okay.
DARPA likes fungus, but it loves bugs. Project Insect Allies modifies flying insects to attack crops. These insects resist disease and repair each other's injuries in the field. Then there's the Hybrid Insect Microelectrical Mechanical Systems, or HIMEMS. This project, along with Project Dragonfly, creates miniature flying cyborgs.
Check that out, man. I mean, just look closely at that. You see all this stuff, and we all, most of us, again, I keep saying our age group. I'm sorry. We grew up, kind of watching this stuff, right? I mean, to see these little insects and these little cameras, and it's, if we all watched Inspector Gadget's not a good example. That's a cartoon. But man, some of this is just nearly like Inspector Gadget. Just wait till this other stuff. It is Inspector Gadget meets Terminator meets Jean-Claude Van Damme meets Chuck Norris and Jackie Chan. and what will probably be a mixture of some Rambo in there too later. But this kind of stuff here, we've seen some like on spy movies and maybe Mission Impossibles. You know, I mean, some of the newer ones in the past, 10, 15 years. So the Tom Cruise ones, all those are good. I like all those movies. It's just neat, man. I mean, if you like this stuff, again, I hope that you're enjoying the video. And I like this kind of stuff. It's always been interesting to me and how technology works. And it's just amazing. And it really is. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's what you have a YouTube channel for, okay? Or build a family here. And I don't buy watches. I don't buy clicks, or I don't buy ads. I just see stuff that's cool, and I just turn the camera on and just share and talk about it. And I'll enjoy the comments and what you guys and have to say about it too.
Beetles, moths, and dragonflies become undetectable spies with cybernetic implants and solar-powered guidance systems. They can be controlled remotely or operate autonomously using AI. They've created remote-controlled rats.
Dude, now that looks wild. Does that? I mean, it looks like some 60-something model cammed up hot rod Hemi out there racing in the desert back in the day. Dude, is that really? I mean, that's really hooked to his brain. So they're going to remotely control this mouse. See what I'm talking about? You smell what I'm stepping in here? That's crazy. Look at that. That's just wild. Wow.
DARPA trains bees to find landmines. They're developing claytronics, programmable shape-shifting matter. They're developing nuclear-powered spacecraft, autonomous vehicles, and weapons of all kinds. DARPA's technology is meant to keep people off the battlefield. Why risk a battalion of human soldiers when you can deploy a fleet of drones? But sometimes you need boots on the ground, and that means people with guns. But DARPA has a better idea. Don't give a soldier a weapon, turn him into one.
Wow. I mean, if that's what we need to do to, keep people safe, then I guess that would be an alternative, I guess. Right?
The human body is an amazing machine. Our musculoskeletal system allows us to do gymnastics, lift heavy weights, and walk long distances. Still, our bodies have limitations. DARPA is developing technology to overcome these limitations. The goal is to increase strength, endurance, alertness, and the overall health of soldiers. DARPA's Warrior Web project is one of
Warrior Web project, okay.
several exoskeleton programs in the works. It's an exosuit, lightweight and flexible, similar to a scuba suit. But this is a smart suit. Using machine learning and onboard sensors, the suit knows when and where to firm up to augment muscles. It performs its function, then becomes flexible again. DARPA has also developed hard exoskeletons, just like...
It's like some video game stuff. I mean, wow. This stuff could be... It is useful, and it captivates your mind to see stuff that you've seen in all these movies before, and now this stuff is like, it's real. I mean, and it could save, humans' lives, and, if a fireman could go into burning houses and not even think about having to, about getting burnt, or breathing smoke and this, I mean, but, we've all seen Terminator, and then the wrong people get it, and then crazy stuff starts happening.
Like you've seen in movies like Aliens and Edge of Tomorrow. These exoskeletons not only increase strength and endurance, but they're modular. They can be equipped with all kinds of weapons. There's even a jetpack in development. The Talos suit turns a soldier into a real-life Iron Man. It's bulletproof and weaponized. It increases strength, speed, and endurance. It monitors the user's vital signs and has sensors that analyze the entire environment around them. The Tactical Augmented Reality, or TAR project, is a headset that overlays information over your normal vision. This gives soldiers real-time information like displaying maps, enemy locations, and other vital data right in their line of sight.
So basically, you're just playing a video game. Well, it seems like now, if you get shot, then you really die, though. Okay, game's over. But if everybody has this, which I'm probably pretty sure that if we're working on it, then I'm sure that other places around the world is not far behind, I guess. So this type of stuff, just this, I'm not talking about just being able to pull targets and show a target or location, but, this could lay out knowing where you are, GPS wise, have maps, and you have drop points. If you're out on a mission for, a couple of weeks or something, you can have, food drop points set up, pinpoint locations without having to smoke at the areas, it's just endless, the things that you could do with all this.
Project Z-Man was inspired by geckos. DARPA is creating a material that would let soldiers climb walls without ropes or ladders. Now, everyone knows the Air Force gives their pilots amphetamines.
I feel the need for
But the Continuous Assisted Performance, or CAP program, is focused on keeping soldiers awake, alert, and effective for up to 7 days straight without...
Yeah, now this is not new to me. Now, I have a personal friend that was in the military, part of the Iraqi war, and this had been early 2000s, and straight up, they were given things to keep them awake, so they could run tanks and fuel trucks and water trucks through the desert all night, because they were going after Saddam just during that campaign. So absolutely 100%, and that was over 20 years ago. Okay.
Side effects. DARPA's Brain Initiative program connects soldiers' brains to computers. They can control drones and other systems with thought. They can truly multitask, where one part of the brain is operating a drone, while the other part of the brain is analyzing the area looking for targets. In the early 2000s, DARPA started exploring ways of giving humans superhuman abilities without equipment. This is DARPA's Biorevolution program.
Now, this is very interesting. This is different.
They studied how animals attack, defend themselves, and regenerate from injuries. DARPA felt that if they could find those answers, these abilities could be transferred to humans. They could give soldiers improved senses, perfect eyesight, and limb regeneration without external devices. Now, to do that, you'd have to alter human DNA. So DARPA is exploring CRISPR gene editing technology. CRISPR can snip out unwanted genes and insert new ones.
Wow.
CRISPR could accelerate healing. Injuries that might have sidelined soldiers for weeks or months could heal in days. CRISPR technology has already sparked a revolution in medicine, with the potential to cure genetic disorders and even combat aging.
Link below and how CRISPR AI.
Now we all know, Elon's and his little brain plug-in thing he's got going on. The link, imagine this, and we'll finish this video here. Imagine this. Those masks and we'll say that suit. Okay, you've seen the exoskeleton style suit that can use energy in ways that can compensate for your own energy. We're already talking about an Alabama linebacker or Georgia linebacker, 6'3", 250, runs 4.340s. You put one of these suits on a guy like that just multiplies what they could do. They already have a 40-inch vertical. Imagine a 60-inch vertical. And compensate that Neuralink with these goggles to where they have vision of and already programmed, because they've already done a scan of the area, satellite scan, so they know where all the targets are, thermonuclear cameras, et cetera. Just geek out on it and dream up more of what you will. He's talking about attachments they could put on these suits. If we're seeing it, okay, this is 2024. If we're already seeing it, then some of this stuff, not all of it's going to make it, and they're going to work on them and refine them. But there's some departments and there's some places out there that are using this stuff, and it's in the works. It's being tested. I can't even think. And so you heard him say, that guy told a family member of mine about the microwave gun stuff, that was 20 years before. So if we know about this now, then imagine, 2044. We're talking about, you're talking about backwards from not just people and Neuralinks, and they could command a group, but it's nearly iRobot-like, where you could have the technology of learning a programmable data source that learns on the fly, learns its environment and what's around. Okay, let's get back in this and we'll finish it up.
Yeah, you're about to end the whole world.
Yeah, that episode is scary, but it's interesting and it's real. Now, some of these projects have failed and some haven't, and some are still in development. I have no doubt that DARPA will turn soldiers into superhuman weapons eventually, but they haven't yet. So how do you put boots on the ground and keep humans off the battlefield? DARPA's answer? Killer robots.
Yeah, killer robots. So kind of that stuff that I was talking about, and there's a little bit more to this part, but the rest of it is more intel and internet stuff. Man, you got to come back for the second part of this. I'm going to cut this off here. Wow. Hey, come back for this second part. You've got to see this, okay? Appreciate y'all coming by and hanging out with me for just a few minutes. And it's another big story coming your way. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and come back for part 2, okay? I'd appreciate it.